Las Vegas, 1995. Sunday morning, 3:30 in the morning. Most of the city is asleep or drunk. The casinos are still running, always running. But away from the Strip, in a warehouse district near the old industrial zone, there's a gym. Not a commercial gym. Not a place with memberships and juice bars and motivational posters. This is an underground facility. The kind of place real fighters go when they want to train without tourists taking photos. When they want to test themselves against other real fighters without cameras or referees or rules getting in the way. The building doesn't have a sign, just a metal door with peeling paint. You either know about this place or you don't. You either belong here or you don't. Tonight, 12 fighters are inside. MMA guys mostly. Some boxers. A few street fighters who never went professional but can hurt you just as badly. Men who measure their worth in violence. Men who have broken bones, taken beatings, given beatings. Men who understand pain as currency. Then the metal door opens. Jean-Claude Van Damme walks in alone. Nobody expects to see him here. Not at this hour, not in this place. This isn't a movie set. There are no cameras, no lighting crews, no directors, no stunt coordinators. Just concrete floors stained with decades of blood and sweat. Heavy bags hanging from rusted chains. A makeshift ring made from rope and corner posts salvaged from demolished boxing gyms. The air smells like old leather and desperation, and the particular metallic scent of spaces where violence happens regularly. Van Damme is 44 years old. He's been in Hollywood for over a decade. Made movies that grossed hundreds of millions. Bloodsport, kickboxer, universal soldier, time cop. His face is on posters worldwide. But here, in this moment, none of that matters. Here, he's just another body walking through the door. He's wearing simple black training pants, gray tank top, no designer clothes, no jewelry, no entourage, just him and a small gym bag. His hair is pulled back, his face is calm, not the movie star smile, not the charismatic charm he shows in interviews. This is different. This is the face he wore in Belgium when he was 17, training in underground tournaments, fighting men twice his size for pocket change and respect. The fighters notice him immediately. How could they not? Everyone knows that face. But knowing someone from movies and respecting them as a fighter are two completely different things. In this world, in this gym, respect is earned with fists and blood, not box office numbers. Tommy Morrison is here tonight. Everyone calls him the Bull. Not because he's aggressive, because he's massive. 320 pounds of muscle built from years of heavyweight boxing. Former contender. Fought for the WBO heavyweight title in 1993. Lost to George Foreman, but not before proving he could take punishment that would hospitalize normal men. After that loss, he drifted into MMA, into underground fights, into places like this where the money is cash and the rules are suggestions. Tommy is 6'3", shoulders like boulders, arms thick as most men's legs, hands that have ended careers with single punches. He's sitting on a bench near the ring, wrapping his hands, talking to two other fighters. They're discussing technique, comparing training methods, sharing stories about knockouts and submissions and fights that went bad. Then Tommy sees Van Damme. He stops talking, stares, then laughs, not a friendly laugh, a dismissive laugh. The laugh of someone who thinks something funny just walked into a serious situation. "Boys, look who's here," Tommy says loud enough for everyone to hear. Hollywood. The gym gets quieter, not silent, just quieter. Conversations don't stop completely, but they slow down. People start paying attention. This is interesting. This is entertainment, a movie star in their world. This could go several ways, and most of them are amusing. Van Damme doesn't respond, just walks to an empty corner, sets his bag down, starts warming up. Neck rolls, shoulder rotations, hip circles. The movements are fluid, controlled, decades of muscle memory. This is a man who's been training since childhood. A man whose body understands combat at a cellular level. Tommy watches, still smiling, still amused. "You know what I love about movies?" Tommy says to the fighters near him, but loud enough for Van Damme to hear. "Everything's choreographed. Every punch is planned. Every kick is rehearsed. 12 takes to get it right. Stunt doubles for the dangerous stuff. That's not fighting, that's dancing." A few fighters chuckle. Not everyone. Some of them have heard rumors about Van Damme. heard he's legitimate, heard he can actually fight, but rumors are just rumors until proven otherwise. Van Damme continues warming up. If he hears Tommy, he doesn't show it. His face remains neutral, focused. He drops into a split, full split, forehead touching the ground, holds it for 30 seconds, then switches legs, same thing, no strain, no struggle, just perfect flexibility maintained at 44 years old. Look at that, Tommy says, the splits guy, that's impressive for a gymnastics routine, but in a real fight, what are you gonna do, split your way out of a takedown? More laughter now. Louder, Tommy's gaining confidence from his audience. He stands up, walks toward Van Damme. His footsteps are heavy, deliberate. The floor almost vibrates. 320 pounds moving with purpose. Van Damme stands up from his stretch, faces Tommy. There may be 10 feet apart now. The size difference is dramatic. Tommy outweighs Van Damme by probably 80 pounds, maybe more. In street fight terms, in real violence terms, that's a massive advantage. That's the difference between getting hurt and getting killed. No disrespect, Tommy says, not meaning it. But you're in the wrong gym, brother. This is where real fighters train, men who take real punches. No stunt coordinators, no safety pads, just violence and whoever can handle it. Van Damme doesn't react, doesn't argue, doesn't defend himself. Just asks one simple question, his Belgian accent slight but noticeable. You think movie fighting is fake fighting? Tommy laughs. I know it is. You want to test that? The gym goes completely silent now. Every conversation stops. Every movement freezes. 12 fighters all focused on this moment, this confrontation, this potential violence. Tommy's smile fades slightly. He didn't expect a direct challenge, expected the movie star to make excuses. To explain that he's just here to train, not to prove anything, to back down when confronted by real fighters. But Van Damme isn't backing down. He's standing there, calm, waiting. You want to go? Tommy asks, surprised but intrigued. Not go, Van Damme says. Just show you something, 8 seconds. One technique, you try to defend. If you defend successfully, I leave. If you can't defend, you stop talking about movie fighting like you understand it. Tommy considers this, looks around at the other fighters. They're all watching, waiting. He can't back down now, can't look weak in front of these men. His reputation depends on it. His identity is built on being someone who doesn't back down from anyone. Okay, Tommy says, show me your movie magic. Van Damme nods. In the ring. They both walk to the makeshift ring. The other fighters gather around. This is better than training. This is live entertainment. A movie star versus a real fighter. Everyone has opinions about who will win. Most favor Tommy. Size matters, weight matters, real fight experience matters. Van Damme might be fast, might be flexible, but against 320 pounds of aggressive violence, speed only gets you so far. They enter the ring. No referee. No rules discussion. Just two men and whatever happens next. Van Damme takes a fighting stance. Not a movie stance, not a demonstrative stance. A real combat stance, weight on the balls of his feet, hands up but loose, shoulders relaxed. His eyes are completely focused. No emotion, no anger, just focus. The focus of someone who's done this thousands of times, who's tested himself against real opponents, who knows exactly what his body can do and how to make it do it. Tommy takes a boxer's stance, orthodox, left foot forward, hands high. He bounces slightly. 320 pounds moving with surprising grace. He's fought professionally, knows how to use his size, knows how to cut off the ring, knows how to trap smaller opponents and destroy them with overwhelming force. Ready? Tommy asks. Van Damme nods. Tommy commits, throws a jab, testing range, seeing how Van Damme reacts. Van Damme doesn't block, doesn't retreat, moves his head 4 inches. The jab passes, missing by nothing, by air. Tommy throws a right cross, following the jab. This one has power, real power, the kind that concusses, the kind that ends fights. Van Damme moves again, not away, forward and to the side. The cross misses. Tommy's momentum carries him slightly forward, off balance. Just for a fraction of a second, that's when Van Damme strikes. His rear leg chambers, not slowly, not telegraphed, explosively. His hips rotate. His supporting leg pivots. And his right leg extends in a perfect side kick. Teep, Thai style, but with modifications, with precision developed over 40 years of training. The kick connects with Tommy's solar plexus. Not the stomach, not the ribs, the exact spot where the nerve cluster sits, where the diaphragm connects, where a precise strike can shut down breathing instantly. The sound is sharp, wet like hitting a heavy bag but different, more organic. Tommy's eyes go wide, his mouth opens. Air exits, all of it. His hands drop from his guard, go to his stomach. His massive frame bends forward, not from pain, from nerve response. His diaphragm has spasmed. Seized, stopped working. He tries to inhale, can't. His body won't respond. The signal from his brain to his lungs is interrupted. Panic floods his eyes, the primal terror of suffocation. He drops to one knee, then both knees, 320 pounds on the canvas, gasping. No air coming in, 8 seconds. From Tommy's first jab to Tommy on his knees, unable to breathe. The gym is dead silent. 12 fighters frozen. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. They just witness something that doesn't make sense to them. A movie star just destroyed a former heavyweight contender in 8 seconds. Not with movie choreography, with real technique, real precision, real understanding of human anatomy and vulnerability. Van Damme steps back, doesn't celebrate, doesn't gloat, just waits, professional, respectful. After 20 seconds, Tommy's diaphragm resets. Air comes back, ragged, painful. He sucks in a breath, then another. His face is red. Embarrassed, shocked, hurt, not physically hurt in a lasting way, hurt in his pride, in his understanding of reality. Van Damme extends his hand, helping Tommy stand. Tommy takes it, pulls himself up with Van Damme's help, stands there breathing hard, looking at this man who just proved everything Tommy believed was wrong. That kick, Tommy says, finding his voice. What the hell was that? Teep, Van Damme says simply. Thai side kick, modified, targeting the solar plexus nerve cluster. Doesn't require massive power, just precision and timing. You were off balance from your cross, forward momentum, couldn't defend, couldn't breathe. Tommy nods slowly, still processing. Van Damme continues, voice calm, teaching. In movies we do choreography. We make it look good for camera, but that doesn't mean we don't know how to fight. Choreography is built on real technique. We just perform it differently. I've been training since I was 10 years old. Shotokan karate, kickboxing, Muay Thai, full contact. I competed. I fought in tournaments before Hollywood, before movies. The fighting is real. The performance is what's fake. He looks around the gym. At the other fighters watching. Size matters, weight matters. You have big advantage in strength, in reach, in power. But fighting isn't just about size. It's about timing, about finding vulnerabilities, about understanding bodies and how they work. You threw good punches, fast, powerful, but you were open for just a second. That's all I needed. Tommy looks at Van Damme with new understanding, with respect. I was wrong, he says quietly. About movie fighters, about you. Van Damme nods. People are, they see the movies and think it's all fake. Some of it is fake. The drama, the story, but the techniques, the training, the discipline, that's real. That's decades of work. One of the other fighters speaks up. Can you teach us that kick? Van Damme smiles. If you want to learn. For the next hour, Van Damme stays, works with the fighters, shows them technique. Not movie techniques. Real combat techniques. The same techniques he used in underground tournaments in Brussels when he was 17. The same techniques that kept him alive in street fights. The same techniques that later became movie choreography but started as real violence. Tommy trains with him, asks questions, learns. The embarrassment fades, replaced by curiosity, by respect, by recognition that he just received a free lesson from someone who knows things he doesn't. When Van Damme finally leaves at 5 in the morning, the gym is different. The fighters are different. They watched a movie star walk in and destroy their assumptions in 8 seconds. Watched him teach instead of humiliate. Watched him prove that real skill transcends size, transcends weight, transcends reputation. Tommy Morrison never spoke publicly about that night. Not in interviews, not in his autobiography. Took it to his grave in 2013. But people who knew him said he changed after that night. Started cross-training. Started studying different martial arts. Started understanding that fighting is more complex than he thought. The other 11 fighters maintained silence too, not from shame, from respect, from understanding that what happened in that gym was private, was sacred, was a moment of learning that didn't need publicity. Jean-Claude Van Damme walked into an underground gym at 3 a.m., a place where real fighters train, where movie stars are dismissed, where size and violence are currency. 8 seconds later, he proved that movie stars can be real fighters, that choreography doesn't equal fake, that decades of training and discipline create capability that transcends performance. Tommy, the Bull Morrison, learned more in those 8 seconds than in years of professional fighting. Learned that assumptions are dangerous, that dismissing someone based on their profession is foolish, that real skill reveals itself when tested. 320 pounds dropped to the canvas by 170 pounds, not through luck, through precision, through understanding. Through 40 years of dedication to martial arts that started long before Hollywood, that continued during Hollywood, that will continue long after Hollywood forgets his name. Who have you dismissed because they don't look like what you expect? Who have you underestimated because of their profession, their appearance, their background? What assumptions are you carrying about what's real and what's performance? Because 8 seconds is all it takes to prove those assumptions wrong. To show that the real fighter isn't always the biggest person in the room. Sometimes the real fighter is the one who's been training since childhood, who knows anatomy, who understands timing, who respects the art enough to keep learning even after becoming famous. Van Damme gave Tommy and those 11 other fighters a gift that night. Not humiliation, education. He showed them that the world is more complex than they thought, that fighting is deeper than size and aggression, that movie stars can be legitimate martial artists if they put in the work. 8 seconds, 1 kick, 12 witnesses, 50 years of silence. That's respect. That's the fighter's code. That's what happens when a movie star proves he's more than movies. When a Belgian immigrant shows Las Vegas fighters that real skill transcends nationality, transcends fame, transcends everything except dedication and discipline. The gym is still there. Different ownership, different fighters, but the story lives on. Whispered, respected, protected. Because some moments are too important to publicize, too sacred to exploit, too real to cheapen with headlines and clickbait. Jean-Claude Van Damme walked into a gym and destroyed a 320-pound fighter in 8 seconds, then taught him why, then trained with him, then left without ever mentioning it publicly. That's not movie star behavior. That's master behavior. That's teacher behavior. That's the behavior of someone who understands that proving you're right is easy. Teaching why you're right is mastery. 8 seconds changed 12 lives that night, showed them what real martial arts looks like, what real discipline creates, what real respect demands, and 50 years later we're still learning from it. Who needs your 8 seconds? Who needs you to prove them wrong and then teach them why? Who needs the lesson that only comes from being humiliated and then being helped up? Maybe they're the ones who can teach you something too. Maybe that's the real lesson. That teachers and students switch roles constantly. That the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. Van Damme understood that, understands it still. That's why he walked into that gym alone at 3 a.m., not to prove anything, to learn, to test himself, to stay sharp. The fact that he proved something was incidental. The fact that he taught something was intentional. That's the difference between a fighter and a master. Fighters prove, masters teach. 8 seconds of proof. 1 hour of teaching, 50 years of silence. That's legacy. That's real power. That's what happens when the movie star is actually the real deal.